So, ladies and gentlemen, now welcome to our Q&A of the week. And I don't know how I'm going to do this Q&A because I just left my phone somewhere for me to look at the questions. But anyway, just to let you know, as you know, I'm in a pre-production for Walking with Saturn movie, and the way I'm able to fund this movie is through my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy. So if you join any course, if you join my KRS vlogs, it helps because I'm slowly gathering things, for this production, including the main thing is going to be paying the actors, paying the locations, and VFX, because of course this has VFX. So anyway, let's try to find my phone for the Q&A. Remember, the link to my academy is at this link here under course section, or you can check out the link in the description. And if you want any consultations or reports on my books, they're also at this link, astrologycares.com. All right, so finally have my phone. So the first question, comes from Singasong. Why do I feel empty in life? And I don't know who I am. There's anything that astrology can explain. Well, absolutely. This is why I'm here. This is why anybody who loves, Vedic astrology or is obsessed with it, that's the reason why they are here. Most of them, are here for the reason to help people who are straight from the path, to bring them onto the path. Because the reason why you feel empty, and this is especially from years and years of looking at charts, the number one thing that a person will feel empty is the time period known as dashas, right? Vimshotri dashas. And when somebody says, I feel empty, in your mind, as an astrologer, you should already kind of determine what could be happening with this person's period. Number one, you could be going through your Ketu Mahadasha, the dasha of south node of the moon. You could be going through your Saturn dasha, and especially Saturn being isolated from all the other planets. There's no other planet surrounding Saturn. Third thing, you could be going through your moon dasha, where moon is not surrounded by any planet, especially moon. And in such period, if a person doesn't have the right direction, they'll feel empty. They'll feel like, why am I losing interest in all these things? Why am I depressed? Why am I not excited about my marriage and my relationship? What is this? Is this midlife crisis? Is this teen crisis? Is this my retirement crisis? What is it? No, it's simply the period that is trying to tell you that you should be doing one activity, this activity specifically first, before you go about anything else in your life, in terms of relationships, in terms of career. So for example, let's say if you go into your Ketu Dasha, if a person is in Ketu Dasha, they must focus on within themselves. They should take time off, and take time off quite a bit in the 7-year-long period of Ketu, to be isolated in place of nature. Going to some monastery near your town and sitting with the monks regarding lectures, hearing about, especially Ketu and Buddhism, is the best remedy if you're in Ketu Dasha. It's the internal sadhana that has to be done before Ketu says, now I will give you interest towards all these other things so you feel alive about your life. So you feel alive about, you living, pretty much. Saturn says, well, if you do not have duty, commitment, and sacrifice in your life, if you're not sacrificing yourself towards something without expecting something in return, well, I'm sorry, I am going to make you feel miserable. I am going to make you feel, bogged down by responsibility of the world and make you hate the world. But if you give yourself into service, to people for no reason without expecting things in return. Working hard, being responsible for the family and not running away from the responsibilities of the family. Making sure that the family is number one, the person you're taking care of number one. Then Saturn will provide that. Moon, you go through moon period. Moon's isolated, right? Let's say that's the only way, one of the main reasons why one will feel this lost in life. Or if, let's say, moon is in the 8th house, moon is in a certain sign, in the moksha triangles of the Vedic astrology, that it again kind of links to the fact that a person needs to observe themselves more. Needs to observe themselves, especially changing one's diet. In moon period, the loneliness says your diet, something's wrong with the diet. Change the diet and things will happen in the pace that you want it to. Because moon is food. When moon is down, the diet needs to go up, meaning diet needs to kind of like accelerate to the higher level. And there's many type of diets. There's veganism, there's paleo diets, there's carnivore diets, whatever diet, but it needs to be looked into a way where how can you ascend yourself? Because food will control your mind. Changing the diet will change your mind, including, of course, meditation. So this is why we can see, this is how astrology, especially Vedic astrology, can help. Because sometimes most people will think, well, it's a transit of Saturn over my moon, or Rahu coming over my moon and I'm feeling this way. No, Rahu over your moon can actually increase your capacity to be intuitive. So you know how to perceive towards certain things and you already know what would be the result. So don't vilify certain planets going over certain planets. That doesn't mean nothing unless the dasha is there. Unless you study the dasha, it's waste of time. Okay. Then the next question is from Nitya. Hi Kapiel, please give a remedy for a combust Mercury. My natal Mercury is combust in the 11th house, Vishaka Nakshatra. So here's the thing about combust planets, especially Mercury. Why? Because can you imagine this? Let's say I was born and grew up in, let's say, South India, where it's extremely hot. Let's say I was born and grew up in Arizona or Nevada, where it's goes up to 120 degrees in summer. If I grew up in that, I'm used to it. I'm used to that particular heat. Okay, now if I go to a colder climate or a great weather like California, and I stay there for 4 or 5 years, and then go back to Arizona, I'll be like, oh my God, I was living in this heat. But see, when you are living for eons, for billions of years, in the heat of the sun as Mercury, you're used to it. So combust Mercury doesn't mean anything in terms of you losing your intelligence, you not having that common sense or that analytical intelligence, communication, nothing. I've seen people get PhD with complete combust Mercury. What Mercury does here, in the 11th house, it tends to separate you from your connection, your professional connections that will actually help you to gain perhaps more success. One will definitely, with this conjunction, will deal with issues in marriage and relationship due to the miscommunication. Because of your Mercury being in Vishaka with Sun and Venus, you will say certain things in a sassy manner that the other person will take it in a very offensive way. Even though it's not offensive, they will take it offensive. That's what happens. When Mercury, forget even nakshatra, just Mercury being combust, whichever house Mercury is ruling, that relationship intensifies, in a more negative way because of the communication style, because of certain way of, dealing with your intelligence being put into the marriage. So nakshatra animal, first of all, you have to understand, why are you drawing the animal for? Okay. Combust Mercury, okay, with the nakshatra animal will enhance Mercury, right? It'll enhance, but it's not a permanent enhancement. It is only, this is why I've always given, at least, what we have observed, me and my astrologer friends, is that drawing the nakshatra animal helps in a small period of time, and then the effects goes away. This is why whenever you're trying to get a job, whenever you're trying to get some test pass, well, yes, you draw the animal. So in that week or 2 week period, that animal energy is there, and it lets you accomplish that thing. Once that thing is accomplished, when that thing becomes activated, then it slows down. Then it's like, kind of calms down. This is okay, this work is done, calms down. But what Mercury activation, the way it needs to be, see, Mercury represents communication. All kinds of communication. Communication could be marketing, could be cell phone, text messages, what I'm doing here. Could be singing, could be music, could be sound. Okay. These things, when you utilize these things with Mercury, for example, with your Mercury, especially being with Venus and Sun in Libra, I don't even care about the Vishaka Nakshatra. The first thing that I will say, you should get yourself a small keyboard. Okay? Get yourself a small keyboard and start to play some music or rhythm. Maybe try to learn a couple of rhythms online with your favorite music and try to replicate that. Because when you are using your hands, first of all, Mercury, and you're trying to rewire your brain to learn something, unless you are musically there, especially if Jupiter is in Kendra or Trikon in this particular scenario, you would have Saraswati Yoga. So you would naturally be inclined towards music. But playing music, rewiring that brain, starts improving your Mercury. With that, it'll start making connections in your brain where you will know what to say, when to say, and how to say it, so the things in your life don't mess up so much. For example, sound. Listen to, especially, what do they call? In India, I know it's known as shank. I guess here it's called seashell. Listen to seashell sounds in your headphone. I can't really, I don't know what it's called. It's called shank, Shank, I guess. It's an Indian, usually you will see this in we saw this in Mahabharata series where, they would take that shank and they would blow it. On Wednesday, blow that shank in the morning. That is connected with the mercurial sound. Or just simply listen to it. Mercury is also writing. Whatever problems you're having, okay, you write them down. This is my problem, this is my problem. And when you write the first problem down, say, this problem is going to go away and this is the solution for this problem. I am going to overcome this problem. When you write that, again, Mercury is activating within your brain. Mercury is saying, okay, writing is happening, problem and solution is happening, which is Mercury. Okay. Especially do it with a green color pen. Get a pen that has green color in it. Tons of pens are out there. Write that in your diary. Diary is also Mercury. Like people have their personal diaries. Keep a personal diary. It will start helping you to overcome this combustion of this Mercury, which is more internal than external. That internal thing causes the external problem. The things that you will say, because you thought of them internally first, and then you say it, well, that caused problem external with somebody else. So, and in Mercury, although it's not really breathing, which would be Saturn, the Vata planet, Mercury is naturally the controller of the third house, which is upper lungs. So, certain breathing exercises, like in yoga, they have certain breathing exercises. Doing that will help you improve. Like, for example, Alom Vilom, Kapal Bharti, Bhastrika. These are the, yoga breathing exercises you want to look at. Find somebody who knows how to do it properly and do them on Wednesday if you don't want to do it all every day. Because Wednesday is Mercury. If you do it at the sunrise is the hour of Mercury on Wednesday, and the 8th hour from that point would be Mercury. You will see, like, it'll start improving the things that you thought are being messed up with the combust Mercury. But we don't even know if this is really the problem that you're telling me. Doesn't even mean that it is happening because of combust Mercury. It could be something completely different. Because like I told you, combust Mercury doesn't really give too much problem to people. Especially in terms of, the only thing that, yes, you can see is that the house rulership, those relationships can be impacted. Okay? So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of your Q&A today. Next week I'll do another Q&A. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below, share me this type of videos, and hopefully don't miss my Saturn movie that I will be making. I don't know when. Let's see if the funds come in now, or 6 months, or 8 months. But I'm excited to make it. All right. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.